The Nordic hamstring curl is one of my favorite exercises, if not my favorite exercise, to bulletproof knees. In 3 years, I went from not even being able to lower my body weight down to being able to do 33 Nordics in a row. And in that time, I went from 5 years of chronic knee pain, 6 major knee injuries, to being more bulletproof than ever before. Being able to play my sport, being able to have knees that are pain-free, being able to be faster than I ever was before. And I'm not saying it's just because of the Nordic curl, but I'm saying that this played a big factor. So if we look at the Nordic works the same way as your ACL attaches. Charles Poliquin called knee flexion the second ACL. Your ACL attaches from the back of your thigh bone to the front of your shin bone. And if we look at the way that the hamstring inserts over the knee joint, it's in a similar path. ACL tears also most happen in the area of knee bend between 0 and 30 degrees. This is where the Nordic is the hardest. If we look at this end range motion, this is a long range knee flexion exercise. So if we look at a hamstring curl, it's hardest when our hamstrings are flexed the most and our knee bend is at the most, whereas a Nordic curl is hardest when we get to this lengthened position in the hamstrings where the ACL is more likely to tear. So the stronger that we get in the Nordic curl, the more protected against ACL tears we will be. And knee injuries in general, to be honest, because 80% or more knee injuries happen in deceleration or cutting. And we know that eccentric hamstring strength plays a crucial role in being able to decelerate and cut. The thing is as well is that nowadays in athletics, we are developing and manufacturing many knee issues because our hips are getting so much stronger than our knees are. And the knee has two functions. It has the ability to flex and it has the ability to extend. Both of these need to be trained. The other thing that I love about the Nordic curl is that it shows us how strong we are in our ability to resist our knee being pried apart with our body weight. It shows us our control with our body weight, right? This doesn't mean to just rush in there and be able to just absolutely smash it, but it does mean to progress that over time. And the bonus is with this is that you get so much faster. And we have example after example of this, of people that get faster, get more athletic, that bulletproof their knees. We have Ben Patrick, my mentor, the one that really pushed the Nordic curls out there. We have Marty St. Louis, who used it in ice hockey. We have Jonathan Edwards, who is the world record triple jump holder. And he used the Nordic curl once a week for years and years and years. Adam Archuleta had one of the biggest athletic transformations of all time, and he was spamming Nordics. We have Cheetah, who's one of the fastest in the NFL, and he was spamming Nordics. We have me, who went from chronic knee pain, 6 major knee injuries, to being more bulletproof than ever before. We have my clients, which we have seen over and over again, that people with ACL tears, when they master the Nordic, have such a less likely chance to be able to hurt again. We have an example of Summer. I went to see her a year ago after she went through our program, and she said, my ACL injury feels like it never happened. She was banging out bro's playing with water balls while I'm trying to film. So I hope that gives to you an example of how important these actually are. And the thing is, like, it took me a long time to be able to get my first Nordic, and they're like pull-ups. Like, once you get one, you can kind of just get more. And I got to the point where I was hitting 33, and since then I haven't hit them as hard. Like, I still do them for sure, but I haven't spanned them as much as I did because I built that ability all the way up. I still hit them once a week, but I'm not hitting them anywhere near as much as I was when I was building them, right? So the progression for this, like, there's a few limiters for people. There's hamstring strength. There's also the ligament itself in the knee. There's hamstring length. These are going to be the biggest limiters to the Nordic hamstring curl and actually being able to build this ability. So the first 3 things that we actually do is, 1, increase the ability of the ligament itself. And we do that with sleds, step-ups, and ATG split squats or deep knee bends. So that is our recipe when it comes to actually building the connective tissue within the knee. Some of those stuff. So if we start building the strength in those, at the same time, we start working on lying leg curls for the hamstring. So this is a knee flexion exercise in itself. And you can see if you get really strong in the lying leg curl, it won't be long before you can get a Nordic if you start to actually take them seriously, especially if you do what we do with our clients, which is 2 up, 1 down lying leg curls. So we're actually focusing on that eccentric overload just as the Nordic is. So we come up with 2 legs in the lying hamstring curl, and then we lower with 1 of them, right? Because we are stronger in the eccentric portion, which is the portion where the muscle is lengthening versus the portion where the muscle is contracting. We are, I think it's about 40% stronger in the eccentric phase than we are in the concentric phase. So that's the strength for the hamstring. So there we got connective tissue as the first one, which is the sled, step up, split squat, squat. Then we have the hamstring strength as the lying leg curl, and the eccentric strength as the 2 up, 1 down. And then we have the elephant walk. The elephant walk is going to be able to help us to lengthen our hamstrings. The goal over time is being able to get to flat ground with our palms on the floor. And then that foundation gives us the license to be able to start training Nordics in a certain way. And the first way that we're going to do this is incline Nordics. So if we put the bench on an incline, if we have a Nordic bench, or if we elevate our hips, something like that, we can, if we have a Nordic bench and we can use an incline on that, that is the most ideal. And they're not even that expensive. Like compared to lying leg curl machines or a treadmill or any of these stuff, which gyms buy so many of, like Nordic benches aren't that expensive and we can get them, but gyms just don't have them. So yeah, like invest in the Nordic bench if you want to invest in a Nordic bench, but you can use other stuff. I'll run through a list of equipment, but I'll go for the progressions first. So the incline bench, and then we're going to be using the eccentrics to start with, eventually working down to full Nordics. Just the eccentric on like the flat ground Nordic is going to be there. And then eventually we can start coming up, whether that be on an incline to start with or even the full Nordics, right? And the standards are going to be at least 5 mycent Louis Nordics, which is perfect form when the glutes contract first, and then we hamstring curl up, controlling all the way thighs to the pad, right? If we don't have a Nordic bench, the stuff that we can use are partner holding our legs down. That one is a little tough, especially on the back of the legs. A Nordic strap on a bench, I've used that as well. I've used a weightlifting belt on the bench as well. That's what I used to use. Smith machine, really loaded up with a pad on the bar. An immovable rack, whether it be a dumbbell rack or whatever, but immovable, make sure it's really safe and secure. Stool bars could be used with a bench on them. A car, even you should use a car to lay down with pads under your knees. And then eventually a Nordic bench. That's going to be all of the ways that you can start to work on this. But this ability is so important, and I really think that if this ability was just as common as pull-ups were for the upper body, then knee injuries would be very decreased, right? This is the pull-up of the lower body, in my opinion. We should be working on these from when we are young, and more gyms should be able to learn how to progress people on these, right? Hope it helps. If you have any questions, please drop them down in the comments section like usual. Start working on your Nordics and keep me updated on the progress. Good to see you.